Hello, everybody. Once again, it is Tuesday, story time with Teacher Cole. I am Teacher Cole, your host for the story time today. I am the owner and head teacher of Teacher Cole's English Corner. We are an international group of teachers, and I have a wonderful teaching team. If you are ever interested in unique and interesting online English lessons, we also use very unique processes like science and social studies for English as well. But today, we are going to read a new story. Today, I thought I would bring back Fancy Nancy. Fancy Nancy and the late night. Nancy is going to learn an important lesson about why our parents sometimes have rules for us to follow. So let's get to our story, shall we? Fancy Nancy and the late night. Based on the creation of Jane O'Connor and Robin Preiss Glasser. I adore visiting my neighbor, Mrs. Devine. Here we are having tea on her veranda. That's a fancy word for porch. When she was a small child, Mrs. Devine lived in Hollywood. She used to see lots of movie stars. Only Mrs. Devine calls them celebrities. Isn't that fancy? She has a special scrapbook of photographs. Some are autographed. That means celebrities signed them. Your scrapbook is extremely fascinating, I say. Fascinating is even more interesting than interesting. Ooh la la! Mrs. Devine says I can borrow her scrapbook if I bring it back tomorrow. Merci, 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 I say. At home, I pretend that I am a Hollywood celebrity. I dress up in my most glorious attire. That's fancy for clothes. I give my autograph to all my fans. I pose for photographs. I am late for a glamorous Hollywood party. I tell my friends. Au revoir. You say it like this. Au revoir. That's French for goodbye. On my door, I put up a sign that says, "Do not disturb," because celebrities like their privacy. I want to go through Mrs. Devine's scrapbook, but I hear my dad calling us for dinner. After dinner, I learn all my spelling words. I am practically an expert at spelling. Before I know it, Mom says, "Nancy, time for bed." Oh no! I haven't had a second to look at the scrapbook. I beg my mom to let me stay up later, but Mom says, "No, it's a school night. Tomorrow is Friday. tomorrow you can stay up late. I put on my nightie and get in bed. My parents kiss me goodnight. Sleep tight, they say. But guess what? I am not going to sleep. Under the covers, I have concealed. That's fancy for hidden. A flashlight and a scrapbook. I stay up very late. It is almost 10 o'clock when I put away the scrapbook and turn off my flashlight. I bet even celebrities don't stay up this late. The next morning, when my dad wakes me up, I am exhausted. Exhausted is even worse than tired. At recess, I'm too exhausted to jump rope with Bree and my friends. I miss 3 of the words on the spelling list. My brain is exhausted too. After school, I return Mrs. Devine's scrapbook. She asks if I would like to stay for dinner and watch a movie called National Velvet. It's on TV tonight. It's about a girl and a horse. I loved it when I was your age. She says, it sounds fascinating, but I can hardly keep my eyes open. I go home and start weeping, which is a fancy word for crying. When my dad asks, what's wrong? I confess, I was naughty. I stayed up late last night and had a terribly and exhausting day. My dad doesn't scold me. He says, now you understand why you need a good night's sleep. That night, I go to bed even earlier than my sister. On Saturday, I wake up feeling glorious again. Glorious is fancy for wonderful. And guess what? Mrs. Devine taped the movie for me. I can see it tonight. Dad was right. Even fancy girls need their beauty rest. Well, that is the end of our story today. Do you have a bedtime that your parents say you have to follow during the school week? Do you agree with that bedtime? What happened to Nancy when she didn't listen to her parents and go to bed on time for school? These are good things to talk to your parents about. Well, this has been the end of our story today with Story Time with Teacher Cole. Feel free to join my Facebook group, Teacher Cole's English Corner, and join like-minded parents where we discuss the good things that have happened during the week and ask questions about our online learning experiences. Feel free to join me again next week for a brand new story. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.